If you're thinking of signing up for TurboTenant, you need to watch this video first. On the surface, it looks like the perfect all-in-one rental management platform for landlords, designed to save you time and stress. But after thoroughly using it myself, I found a few surprises that you'll definitely want to know before jumping in. But before we get into the details, let's get one thing straight. Who is TurboTenant actually for? Well, TurboTenant has one target user in mind. It's for the landlord who is tired of juggling a dozen different apps and spreadsheets all to try to get their business in order, right? Think about the individual who handles everything themselves. They need to list the property, they need to screen tenants, they need to create a lease, collect rent, all without it actually becoming a full-time job to do all of that, right? They've built their entire service around making these core tasks simple and streamlined in one dashboard. The targeted approach makes it far more efficient for a landlord's specific workload. But don't just take my word for it about all this. When you look at some other users' experiences, the story becomes more clear. Take this one landlord, for example. He said that becoming a landlord went from overwhelming to easy thanks to TurboTenant. He specifically called out the ease of the documents, the resources, and the education available. He was very happy with how it simplified everything for him. Okay, yeah. I also came across this review from a landlord who posted his rental property on the site, and he received some really valid interest from it. And most importantly, one of the applicants actually signed up. He found it effective for marketing his vacancy and getting a real tenant in place. So yeah, this really highlights who TurboTenant is for, the landlord who wants a quick, low-cost, and beginner-friendly tool that handles the essentials without the complexity of maybe advanced, really expensive software meant for massive portfolios and corporate buildings and stuff. So now that you know who TurboTenant is for, let's get into the specific features that make it so useful and where it might fall short for some people. When I started using TurboTenant, what really caught my attention was how quickly I could add my first property. Adding your property is the first step to streamlining your rental process, and TurboTenant makes it ridiculously simple. Once you've entered your rental details like address, rent price, and property type, you can market your listing on dozens of rental sites automatically. That's a massive time saver instead of doing it individually one by one on different sites. The best part too is that you can do all of this from the web on your PC or from your phone when you're on the go. So it took me less than 5 minutes to set up my first listing. That level of convenience is where TurboTenant really shines. I saw a revealing thread on Reddit that perfectly highlights this. A landlord was asking for a simple platform to manage some rent payments and expenses for a two-family townhouse. He needed something super simple. One user replied suggesting apartments.com or TurboTenant. But then another user chimed in saying that he ran into the same problem with a duplex and that TurboTenant was the only thing simple enough to handle payments and screening without turning into this mess of spreadsheets. So I think that tells you everything. Like if you're a landlord who values security, simplicity, having everything in one place, and not getting overwhelmed either, TurboTenant really stands out for that. It's built for the landlord who sees their management tool not as a complex beast, but as a simple assistant. Another standout feature I want to mention is the access management tool. If you've got a small team or maybe a family member helping you manage your units, you can invite them as admins or assistants. This feature is designed so that others can share the workload without handing over your personal data and your personal login to everyone, right? So, is rental TurboTenant legit? Is this tool good to use? I think the simple answer is yes. It's secure, it's clean, and it's perfect for landlords who want to delegate without extra chaos. Then there's the TurboTenant lease guide. If you've ever tried writing a lease from scratch, you know how stressful that can be. TurboTenant really makes it easy to create legally compliant leases. You just create a lease profile, you add some tenants, you input rental details, and then you send it for digital signature. No back and forth emails or printing needed. It's all in a single place. And when it comes to payments, you might be very interested in some clear benefits here. Interestingly, TurboTenant provides a secure way to transfer money directly into your bank account from tenants, from anyone you want, but it's more than just a payment portal. It automates reminders, it tracks who is paid, and it gives you a clear view of your entire cash flow. One landlord mentioned in a review that tenants feel safer providing personal payment information to a secured third-party site like TurboTenant, which I think is a huge trust factor, especially in today's world of online scams. And if you're like me and you hate paperwork, you'll love the document management feature. You can store all of your property documents, your leases, receipts, maintenance records, all in one organized spot. No digging through folders or emails or anything. It's all designed to make managing documents effortless, especially for landlords juggling multiple properties. And then there's the messaging tool. TurboTenant lets you message renters directly from your account. You can view conversation history, you can view the renter info, you can even send bulk messages to multiple tenants in a single click. For example, if you need to notify everyone about upcoming maintenance, you can send one bulk message and then you're done. So overall, TurboTenant's biggest strength is how everything kind of works together, right? From listing your property, screening tenants, creating leases, collecting rent, to managing docs, all of it in one clean workflow. Compared to juggling separate apps for each task, having a different person for a different thing. Like this feels like a breath of fresh air where it's all in the single place, really easy to deal with. But of course, no platform is perfect. There are a few things that you should be aware of. So in my deep dive into this platform, I came across a user who complained about a payment process that failed. He also felt that the app being the primary method for payments was too limiting. So that can understandably be frustrating if you run into a glitch or if you prefer to use other methods of payment. You can still use them, but it doesn't integrate with the workflow. So in my experience, these kinds of technical hiccups are usually pretty rare and are often resolved quickly by the support team, and personal preferences are personal preferences as well. I see far more comments about payments working pretty smoothly than I've actually seen anything about failing. For most users, it is a reliable system, and having a dedicated app for payments is actually seen as a convenience for a lot of people, not as a limitation, because it makes things mobile and fast, and if you want to set up payment outside of that, that's another thing, but it's integrated here, and it works really well. When it comes to the cost of all of this, you're probably wondering, is TurboTenant legit in terms of value? Well, the pricing is actually really competitive, especially for independent landlords. They have a free version that gives you a ton of the core features, which is fantastic for getting a real feel for the platform without any risk involved. This is a huge advantage over some competitors that lock basic features behind a paywall so you can't get a feel for it. When you're ready to unlock the premium features, for example, their advanced tenant screening or any of their more advanced features, the costs are really reasonable compared to the time and money that you'd spend doing everything manually with more people and more expensive software and tools. It can save you a ton of time and effort. For the most current TurboTenant pricing, any active promotions, and their latest features, check the link in the description of the video. We try to keep it updated so that you can get the best possible deal. So, what's my final take in this Is TurboTenant Legit review video? Well, if you're a landlord or just starting out, I think TurboTenant is one of the most reliable, convenient, and easy to use tools out there. It won't overwhelm you, and it actually helps you get things done faster and more conveniently. If you're ready to try it out, make sure to check the link in the description of this video to get started with our special discount and promo.